Imagine you're walking down the street. The sun's gently warming your face, birds are singing, everything feels calm. Suddenly, screech, a car slams its brakes. Your heart jumps, your head whips toward the sound, your feet instinctively step back. That reaction was faster than the thought, danger. So, who made that decision? You, or some hidden part of your brain that works on autopilot? Daniel Kahneman, psychologist and Nobel Prize winner, takes that exact question apart in his book, Thinking Fast and Slow. He says we've got two thinking systems in our brain, System 1 and System 2, SOTS. System 1 is that instant reaction to the screeching brakes. Fast, intuitive, effortless. System 2 kicks in when you need to stop, think, gather info, and decide. Slow, logical, deliberate, but also tiring. Why does this matter? Because most of the decisions we make, even the ones we think are logical, are actually driven by System 1. Which means we're often deciding based on feelings, past experiences, and incomplete snapshots of reality. Keen. Here's an example. You walk into a job interview. Before you even sit down, the interviewer smiles, and instantly you feel, I like this person. That tiny flash of emotion sets the tone for the whole conversation. That's System 1, quietly taking the wheel. But System 1 isn't always the bad guy. Imagine crossing the street and a car barrels toward you. If you pause for System 2 to analyze, the car's going about 40 miles per hour. It's 3 meters away. Probability of collision is, well, game over. System 1 is your emergency reflex system, your lifesaver in urgent moments. The problem, Kahneman says, is that we trust System 1 too much in situations where careful, logical thinking is needed. That's where cognitive biases creep in. Mental shortcuts that help us decide faster but can also lead us badly astray. Take the representativeness bias. This is when you judge someone purely because they fit a mental image. Or the availability bias, where you think something is more common or important just because it comes to mind easily. Here's a story. Years ago, an investment firm decided to back a startup simply because its founder dressed and talked like Steve Jobs. Yep, black turtleneck, the whole act. The result? Total failure. Millions lost. System 1 had fooled them with a shortcut. Looks like Steve Jobs must be a genius. In part 2 of the book, Kahneman dives deeper into these shortcuts, or heuristics. For your brain, heuristics are like cheat codes in a video game. Fast ways to get to an answer, but not always the right answer. One big one is the anchoring effect. This happens when your judgment sticks to the first piece of information you hear. If I tell you, this car's worth around $70,000, and then ask for your estimate, chances are you'll guess close to that, even if the real value is $40,000. Your mind just dropped anchor at 70 grand. This is where System 2 can save you. Think of it as that friend who in the middle of a chaotic market grabs your arm and says, hey, slow down, let's think. But activating System 2 takes effort and energy, which is why our brains love to coast in System 1 mode most of the time. The wild part? Even experts fall for these traps. A famous study of judges found they were far more likely to grant parole right after lunch than right before it. Hunger and fatigue, not legal facts, were influencing life-changing decisions. By now, you can picture your brain like a car with two drivers. The pro driver, System 1, reacts fast, almost instinctively. The cautious learner, System 2, takes their time, analyzes, and avoids risk. Problem is, they're constantly snatching the wheel from each other. And in Part 3, Kahneman talks about an even bigger trap: overconfidence. We think we're better at predicting and deciding than we really are. This illusion of skill and illusion of predictability can wreck careers and economies. Think of stock traders who get a few wins and suddenly believe they've cracked the secret of the market. Reality check. Most of that was luck. Remember the 2008 financial crisis? Before it hit, many experts swore the U.S. housing market could never crash. It had always gone up, so they assumed it always would. That's System 1, spotting a simple pattern. Up means always up, and elbowing System 2 out of the way. Int. Overconfidence means that even when hard evidence contradicts us, we cling to our beliefs, because our brain craves the feeling of control. So far, we've met the two systems, seen how mental shortcuts can backfire, and learned how overconfidence blinds us. Nessa. The big question is, can we stop making these mistakes? Kahneman's answer? Yes, but not all the time. We can train ourselves to spot the traps and switch on System 2 more often. And that's where you come in. Next time you face an important choice, ask yourself, who's driving right now, System 1 or System 2? Yet. Because in the end, the quality of your life is just the sum of your big and small decisions. And if you can let System 2 take the wheel just a little more often, you might just change the whole direction of your journey.